Hola, bienvenidos, buenas noches a todos, and welcome to Los Lobos de la Lucha. I'm trying to channel our announcing team for CMLL. I almost ran out of breath on that one, but hello, all you. I'm gonna workshop it a little bit. I'm gonna do my exercises so I can do it in one breath. But hello, all you BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of Los Lobos de la Lucha, your weekly CMLL review show here on the BC WrestlePod YouTube, Twitch, podcasting network conglomeration thingamabob that we got going on. So, we got a fun one to review because we are finally here. It has happened. We are going to be reviewing the Amazonas Grand Prix this evening, which has me super excited.
It was so good.
Oh my goodness, it was fantastic. But joined with me tonight, as of right now, is the one and only Papa Oso himself. We missed you in the NXT review, but we are super excited to have you in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
It was fantastic. Also, I just love how your mask and the beard just cover up your mouth, so it just looks like you just have a face. It's so great. I love it.
I'm looking at getting a new mask. I'm gonna get a Templario one.
Yes, we will be talking about him this evening. And of course, our other correspondent, El Buntador II. He is running a bit behind, so hopefully he'll be able to join us tonight. But if not, well, the dynamic duo that is me and Papa also will take care of everything. But before we get into the review, we do have a little bit of housekeeping to get through. So you can follow us all over the social medias at BC WrestlePod. We're pretty much anywhere and everywhere. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We have a Patreon. We have a Venmo. We have a Cash App. If you want to find all our social medias in one place, well, you can download the Next Level app, look us up at BC WrestlePod, and all of our stuff will be there, including link for merch, where a bunch of the BC WrestlePod boys have simultaneously over the last couple of days told me they have bought merch. Now that we are entering the colder season, sweater weather is about to be upon us. So lots of hoodies and sweaters may or may not have been bought within the last week or so. Which reminds me, I gotta start uploading the new designs very soon. So I'll be like, Black Friday sales. I'm so excited. Right. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But of course, as always, if you want to support us non-financially, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell notification, and also follow us on Twitch. And word of mouth does wonders. We are almost at 260 subscribers on YouTube, which is nuts because, CMLL has brought us joy and happiness. I kid you not, that 91st Anniversario show brought a lot of new folks here. And I'm like, what is life right now? And you know what? What is life right now as well? Because we're going to talk about this past Viernes Espectacular show, which was amazing. So we are covering the Viernes Espectacular show from this past Friday. So that would be, let's see, today is the 30th, 9th, 8th, 7th, Friday, October 25th, 2023. So this card was announced like 2 weeks in advance leading into the Grand Prix. So we knew what we were getting. But we had one more match added to the card, and we'll talk about that when we get to there. But without further ado, let us begin and ring the bell because we are about to get started. Ding, ding, ding. So
we begin. They don't use a bell. They use a buzzer or something, don't they? It's like a thing or whatever.
I mean, that could also be happy, but usually we have a bell. But we kick off the show with a Relampago match, so a lightning match for those of you who aren't too keen on the Espanol. But this was the first match to open up this evening on the Grand Prix show, in which we had one of our personal favorites here at Los Lobos de la Lucha. We had Dulce Gardenia taking on Difunto, who is accompanied to the ring by, our microstar Mije, which is super fantastic. I love this match so much. It was so much fun. Oh my God. This was fun. I still think it's a hate crime that Dulce did not win.
And I know.
But this is a really close one. And of course, Difunto does pick up the victory with I'm going to describe as best as I can, a walk rope coast to coast for the win, which was a beautiful thing to see.
It was.
Again, I love when we get these like one-off tag team trios or even lightning matches in Arena Mexico because it definitely sets the tone for the rest of the evening. Papo, also, what did you think about Dulce and Defunto opening up our Grand Prix episode?
It was fun. I don't know Defunto. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen him wrestle before. So this was new to me. And I was like, yay. Of course, Dulce Gardenia we love. Absolutely. And I agree with you. One of these days he's going to win a match. And I'm here for it. But no, this was super fun. It was a great way to open the night. I mean, it really kind of got the energy going. It felt like, ooh, this is going to be a fun night. And like a good. I thought it set up to be a pretty good build. So I was like, yay! And yeah, there was some pretty fun moves in this match, more so than I thought there would be, because I've seen Dulce Gardenia wrestle before, and the thing I like about Dulce Gardenia is that I think he adapts well to whoever he's wrestling, like matches them pretty well, and I really like that about him. And now I just want him to win a match. So stop with the hate crimes, people.
Be like, enough of the hate crimes. But no, I really enjoyed this opening match.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, one day Dulce will finally win a match. But you know what? I love that we get to see him more and more. So I am all here for it, and I cannot wait to see where he pops up next. So following this up, we get into our regular scheduled programming of our first 2 out of 3 falls match. And this is touted as a match of tag champions. So all of these men are either current or former tag champions. And we had the team of Angel de Oro and Niebla Roja taking on our team of Magnus and Rugido. This is also a great match.
I don't think I've ever seen Niebla Roja wrestle, have I?
So I believe you have over a couple of times, because anytime we see Angel de Oro in tag team action, we'll usually see, like, remember, Angel and Niebla are like real life brother.
Right.
Like, these are actual brothers.
Okay. See, I don't know why I thought okay. I don't know. My brain is hurting because I remember Angel. I remember him, but for some reason I don't remember his brother, and I don't know. And the whole time I was watching this match, I was like, have I seen him before? Because I don't recognize him, I guess is my problem. But anyway, that's beside the point, I suppose.
It is. So this was our typical 2 out of 3 falls. So 2 a 3 caídas. So 2 out of 3 falls. And again, this is Los Hermanos Chavez, which are Angel de Oro and Niebla Roja, taking on the team of Depredadores, which is Rugido and Magnus. And again, these 4 worked really well together. This is nonstop action at its finest. Of course, our brothers of Angel and Niebla do win, but by DQ shenanigans.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Magnus and Rugido were not happy about it.
They were more pressed than a panini. I was like,
they were. I was like, dang. Yeah, because what was the DQ? I missed it. I guess I just missed it.
Oh my gosh, what was the DQ?
Was it when? Because I know he had. Was it? I can't remember. One of the brothers had Rugido in the submission, and they were doing the rocking back and forth. And I think Magnus jumped in, and was that what it was?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, because I couldn't figure out what it was, because he jumped in and hit whoever the brother was. I can't remember if it was either Niebla or Angel, but that, and I had to go back and watch it a couple of times, and I was like, I mean, that's the only thing I can think, because then immediately the ref was like, you know, he
Be like,
called
nope,
whatever.
we can't have this. DQ, end the
Huh.
match right now.
That was weird. I didn't know what it was. So
Right.
anyway,
And I was like, shenanigans. But
yep.
it makes sense too because Angel and Niebla are technically rudos in this match, and Magnus and Ruhila are that the technicals are your faces. So again, I thought these four
It's
men
so
did an
funny.
amazing job. The tag team match was awesome. And I love this match. This was a lot of fun.
You know, I never would have thought that Magnus and Nohurido were the Technicos. I for some reason I had it in my brain they were the Rudos.
Look, and again, we say this all the time here. What I love and what we love about CMLL is that 1 week we'll see one team or one set of wrestler or a wrestler be a technical, and then the next week they're rudo. They don't stick to
Yeah.
either face or rudo.
But it's so
Um,
funny. It's so funny because, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's so funny because I'm so used to seeing Magnus and Nohurido as the Rudos.
rudos, right?
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm like, wait, what? You just literally blew my brain. I was like, wait a minute, what? Because I thought Angel and Niebla, I thought they were the Technicos. I thought they were the good guys. Because you know, because then Magnus and Ojido, they like curb stomp them at the end of this match. That's why I
Again,
was like, okay,
they are faces 1 minute and then they are heels the next.
wow,
And
that is
I love.
so fascinating.
Now, the only people who are really like set in a certain type of,
Are people like Mystico?
yeah, Místico, and I would even throw it out to Volador Jr. too as like
Okay,
really mostly your faces. But then, of course, you have your ultimate heels. Like Hechicero to me is always going to be a
yeah,
Rudo, even
oh
though I'm
yeah,
cheer for him with like every fiber of my being every time
oh
he's on my screen.
absolutely. And
I
and
love.
I know people like Templario. He goes back and forth
Mhm.
because I
But
have
other than
seen him
this,
fight as
yeah.
a Technico before.
Yeah, and so the cool thing is that outside of like those particular examples, everyone will usually go back and forth, and that's
So
not just limited to our men. This also includes the
right,
Amazonas too,
okay,
because 1 week Zuxis is fighting as a technical, and then she's curb stomping people as a Brudo the next
that's
week.
fair. That is very
Uh,
fair.
man, I cannot wait to talk about her when we get to the main event. Cause ooh, child, this is
I
this
know.
is fantastic. But we move on from here. Like I said, Angel and Niebla do pick up the victory here, which leads us into the latest match that was added to this card a couple days before, which was for a championship. This is for the CMLL World Light Heavyweight Championship match. So we have our champion in this case, which is crazy to me, Averno, taking on the challenger in Zandoken Jr. I have missed Averno on my television screen so much. I love him so much. I love the character. I love
This
him
was
in
a
general.
brutal match, though.
This is what literally this is I was like, this is what light heavyweight means to me. This is like we're gonna fly, but I'm also going to grind your face into dirt.
Because
Like
I am assuming this, and I haven't done research on it, but I am assuming that Zendokan Jr. hit his face on that barricade.
bury the barricade, strikes again.
I mean, I swear to God, I mean, I think he was actually unconscious. Like, I think it was a mistake because he flew through those ropes, and Averno sat up, and I don't think he was supposed to.
Mm-mm.
And you saw Azandokan Jr., he hit that barricade full face. Like, not even like, oh, look at me, I'm playing, but it was like boom, and he went down. And I was like, was that? And then he like drug him up, and I was like, he is dead weighting. Like, there was no help in that. He rolled him up in there, and then when he tried to pin him, and he kind of came up, and it was just like, I was like, and then that's when they called the match because I was like, I think he really hurt himself. It really concerned me actually. So anyway, I just had to talk about because it's been weighing on my brain since I watched it. Maybe I should look that up.
Yeah, so as Papa also looks that up to talk to more about the technical aspects about the match, I thought this was a really fun one. And of course, as with most championship matches in CMLL, this is one fall. And of course, Averno does retain his championship. And he wins via pinfall by hitting a lateral press onto Zandoken Jr. I also love that everybody was out and about for this match too. Averno was with, Antonelli, Mephisto, and Tengu. And then Zandogan Jr. had Periquito Zacarias. And of course, Bacanero Jr. I was just like, we just got a whole pirate squad out. Like, bring me the pirates! Shiver me timbers and high jail booties, because it is all about.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I was like, as soon I was not to say that the match was bad. I was enjoying it, but as soon as Averno hit, not Averno, as soon as Zandogan Jr. hit the barricade full on, and like it looked like he rocked himself, I'm like, at best, it is a couple of missing teeth that a dentist is gonna fix. At worst, this man just concussed himself live on my YouTube screen.
Seriously.
And we'll talk about it at the very end, but the Grand Prix, as fun as it was, a lot of our women, both on Team Mexico and Team International, did not walk away unscathed. Like, ooh, we'll get there when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said before, Averno does retain the championship, and we go into our semi-main event of the evening. I just want to take a moment. Listen, these 6 individuals on my screen are some of my favorites right now. So this is a lucha semifinal. This is 2 out of 3 falls, 2 a 3 caídas. And this is our team of Místico, Máscara Dorada, and Templario, taking on the team of Demasked Euphoria, Soberano Jr., and Barbaro Cavenario. This was a bomb match. I love this so much. This was so flipping good.
This was one of my absolute favorites. I mean, this was probably my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just because Templario, but because it was actually a really good match.
I mean, Templario definitely was the bonus.
Yes.
It was the cherry on top of this Sunday.
Yeah, and I loved, Barbaro Cavernario. I love him. He's just so fun. And it's really cool also seeing Euphoria own his no mask persona. So I really liked that too. And of course, Soberano Jr. is just fine. But I thought it was so funny how poor Místico. I feel so bad for Místico sometimes because the minute he enters the ring, everybody wants to kick his ass. It's like literally, it's like we're not going to focus on you two. We're going to focus on Místico, and that's what they did for a little while. Man, Místico just couldn't cut a break. And even they were kind of, it was so funny because I'm a huge. It's no secret. I'm a huge fan of Templario, not just the the wrestler himself, but like his whole everything. I just love him as a wrestler. I just think he's great. And there were times that even he was getting his ass handed to him. And I was just like, how are you losing, dude? Especially against I think it was Soberano Jr. at one point kicked him out of the ring. And I was just like, dude, you are like twice his size. Pick him up and throw him in the audience. I was just like, what are you doing? Cut him in half. You got a sword. Come on. Use that sword, sir. Please cut me in half. Split me right down the middle.
I mean, in more ways than one, apparently.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So, there was no pun intended there. It was pure. There was no innuendo there. It was pure. You know what I'm talking about.
Stick me with your sword, Daddy.
Yep, split me down the middle.
And that has been your weekly thirst moment from Papa Oso.
Yes. Oof. Anytime that man is on my television, I am just woof.
Tune in for CMLL After Dark.
You don't want to go there. You don't want to be there for that.
Don't worry, me and Will will be participating in that after the show. I promise.
This was a really great match. Good to get back to what we're actually talking about. This was a really great match. It really was. I really liked all 6 of these guys. I've seen all of them in different iterations, in different matches. And we've talked about this before on here that these guys reinvent themselves every single time they come into the ring. It's so funny. I know Mystico, I know Templario for sure. I know his moves, I know what he does. But man, every time he comes into the ring, it's like watching him for the first time. Same way with Mystico. And of course, Mascara Dorada, I really like too. I like all 6 of these guys, but I will give some huge props to Euphoria. Like I said, taking on his new no mask persona. I mean, he has embraced it, and I'm like, good for you. And it seems like the crowd is really behind him too, which I love. Because I know that we've talked in the past about when a luchador loses their mask, they kind of lose who they are, and they don't really bounce back from it. But I think Euphoria has. I think he owns it. He walks out. I mean, he's loud and proud about it. So I was like, good for you, man. Good for you. That was an extremely emotional match for me. I still remember that match, that whole thing. I was just like, ugh, ugh. So anyway, this was a great match. It was so good.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, if it wasn't said before, the team of Místico, Máscara Dorada, and Templario do pick up the victory as Místico hits, the Místico for the win. So I'm super excited, and I wish El Buntador was here because Místico is going to be a busy man over the next 2-3 weeks, not only here in CMLL, but in 2 weeks, he will be back here in the States for the MLW CMLL crossover show Lucha Apocalipto, which is having a lot of CMLL folks and folks from MLW have a crossover show. Super excited. Can't wait for that one. Alrighty. So we've talked about all the matches so far, but now, Papa Oso, we get into the main event. La Grand Prix del Amazonas. When I tell you that I was so hyped for this, and sorry to bury the lead, but this did not disappoint. This is exactly what I wanted from this whole entire thing. So really quickly, before we talk pretty much for the rest of the show about this whole entire thing, just to give you a quick recap. So the Grand Prix that Amazonas, similar to the Grand Prix that we held for the men back in August, we have 10 members of CMLL representing the company. And then we have 10 international stars from all over the world competing on, the international team. So to recap, representing for 2024, representing Team Mexico or Team CMLL for this one, we have Sanelli, Reina Isis, Dark Silhouette, Zuxis, Lluvia, Hera, Kira, Amapola, Skadi, and Princesa Suget, taking on the Team International, which is Willow Nightingale from AEW, ROH's Red Velvet, last year's winner and technically the team captain for the international team, Tessa Blanchard. Representing Rev Pro and coming from the UK is Alex Windsor. Representing CMLL, but representing Chile is La Catalina. Then we have our Japanese girls of Sayaka Unagi and Sumika Yanagawa. Representing, Vietnam and New Japan Strong Dojo with Viva Van. CMLL, our new Universal Amazona champion. And, probably the baddest bitch in the game, Persephone.
Yes, my girl.
Holy crap, girl did great. And then, of course, representing Costa Rica is Samantha Black. So this is a stacked lineup. We have 20 women in this whole entire thing. Again, what I loved is the pomp and circumstance that we got before the match even started. Again, all the women come out. They are given an introduction. Each of them gets their own thing. We do the whole entire pomp and circumstance. And then it was go time because Lord have mercy. These 20 women went to war. Holy crap. I don't even
Oh,
So before we talk about the match,
brutal.
yes, it was. But I got to give credit. So shout out to AEW's Aubrey Edwards for being the ref in this match. Like, yes, Aubrey is one of my favorite refs in any wrestling company. And the fact that she gets to makes her debut here and gets to be the referee for the Grand Prix is amazing.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm biased because I love her. She's fantastic. I get to see her in AEW almost every week. But I am so happy that Paposo, you got to witness Aubrey. She is so good at what she does. She is like one of the few refs that is very animated with what she does. Like
Yeah, I like her a lot.
she is like her own character when she refs with the rest of the women. Like, it is so good. But now let's talk about the match itself, because good God Almighty, these girls went at it. I don't even know where to begin.
They went full throttle, man. There was no, and yeah, again, you're gonna hear me say this a million times, as I always say, the women's matches at CMLL are bad ass. They are so amazing. If you are out there and you are a fan of women wrestlers, you need to watch CMLL. My God, because every one of their matches are brilliant. But this Grand Prix, oh my God, it was so brutal. I mean, these women were out for blood. I mean, I was amazed there was no blood, to be quite honest, because I mean, they were fighting like street fighting women would do. I mean, they were just like, there was no holds barred. I mean, there was no holds barred. And man, it was so good. I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time. And even though my girl did not win, who won, I was very thrilled for. I was like, I knew Persephone wasn't going to win because she already won a title, and it's okay. Even though I would have been okay with her having another one, but that's again, that's not neither here nor there. But man, they were all of them. Xerxes, oh my God, I was like, she was like a demon out there.
Well, so let's talk about it. So, I mean, all the women did great. Everyone got a chance to shine just as the men did, and everyone did a good job. But we're going to focus on the nitty gritty, which is like our final six. So the last three from each team. So all the women did great. Eliminations were had. Lots of girls were getting eliminated left and right. But the nitty gritty came down to our final six when we had left on Team International. Our final three were Tessa Blanchard, Willow Nightingale, and our ROH Women's Television Champion, Red Velvet, taking on the final three of Team Mexico, which was Zuxis, Lluvia. And I'm not going to lie, I was surprised to see Reina Isis still in this match. Don't get me wrong, because she has one of my favorite finishers. Like, I believe she eliminated Miss Unagi. Like, she picked her up for like a backbreaker, turned her forward, and then clenched her jaw open while she was submitting her. I was like, what the hell is this? I'm kind of scared and turned on at the same time. Like, what is happening? But these were our final six, and the finishing sequence was amazing. So first, I'm not going to lie. Of these six, I did not expect Tessa to be the first of these six out. So the team captain of the international team gets eliminated after Zuxis hits a double underhook jawbreaker on her. I was just like, you brought it up. Zuxis is literally a shit brick house. Like, homegirl has power behind her, and the way she devastated Tessa, I was like,
she was fighting like her life depended on it.
She really wanted to win this thing, and I was like, I think I'm rooting for Zuxi. I
kind of was too. I'm not gonna lie. Once my girl Persephone was out, I was like, okay, Zuxis, you're my girl. So I was like, all right. But she was brutal. My God.
Like I said, that double underhook jawbreaker to eliminate Tessa was nuts to watch. But then we turn around because not before long, Zuxis has to hit the showers next because Willow Nightingale hits a beautiful gut wrench powerbomb, just like. I was like, that's a lot of meat right there. That's a lot of meat right there. And I was like, damn, Zooksies, you eliminated the captain, and then Willow Nightingale eliminates you. Hit the showers, girl, but it's okay. Yeah. But again, Willow hits that, and then she's the next to go. So her moniker, the Babe with the power, is out because Yuvia basically just ran wild with a bunch of clotheslines and a drop kick to eliminate Willow. I was just like, damn, Yuvia, I didn't know you had that in you, girl. But then again, she is a tag team champion, so it totally makes sense in my book.
Match. I'm so telling you, it's so funny because watching these women, I've seen them all fight for the most part, but man, I have never seen them fight like this before. Like, wow. Even Persephone was like fighting differently than I would normally see her, but Zooksies, my God, she was just like brutalizing people. I was just like, oh, and then when she got eliminated, I was just like, oh shit, somebody worse than you just took you out. Like now someone's like taking your place. I was like, oh God, what's gonna happen to somebody? I was like, ooh, my God, it was so good. Oh, keep going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nah, it's all good because Yuvia was running wild with these clotheslines and dropkick, but then she was promptly eliminated by Red Velvet with a DDT variation, which also looked very beautiful and nice and just so good. And then by this point, when Yuvia got eliminated, Papa Oso, we were down to the final two. And I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting Red Velvet and Reina Isis to be our final two. But my God. But my God, when Yuvia was eliminated and we became one-on-one, these girls went to fucking war.
They did. I mean, it was like shit. They kicked into high gear.
Like, oh my God, both of them just like poured everything they had. But ultimately, this was crazy. So, like, throughout this whole final one-on-one sequence, Reina, darted out with most of the offense and then went back and forth. But Reina threw an avalanche Rana, a face buster, a bridging German suplex, and Red kept kicking out of everything. And so finally, Reina had to hit La Arcangelina, so the Archangel, and she had to hold Red into place as to not escape. Red had nowhere to go, so she had to tap. And your winner and the 2024 Amazona Grand Prix winner is La Reina Isis. And I was just like, I was not expecting that, but you know what? I'm kind of on Team Reina now after this match. This is homegirl brought it, and that one-on-one between her and Red solidified it. I was like, I'm gonna keep my eye on her. This girl is fantastic. But man, what a match, Papa Oso. The men's that we got in August was fabulous. This was just as fabulous, if not as crazy. And dare I say, this was kind of more brutal than the men's Grand Prix.
That's what I was saying. It was so much more than the men's one. I mean, the men's Grand Prix was pretty badass, but it's the women, man. It's the women down there. They are like, when something's on the line, they're like, I'm killing a bitch. I mean, seriously. And then I thought someone was gonna die tonight. I was like, someone is going to be carried out in a body bag.
I was just, this match was nuts. Reina Isis picks up the victory, and she is her name in the CML record books as the 4th Amazona Grand Prix winner. And she joins the winner circle of Dark Silhouetta, who won in 2021, Miss Dallas from 2022, and Miss Tessa Blanchard, which was 2023, last year's winner. So the fact that this is only the 4th year for this Amazona Grand Prix is crazy, because you would think that the Amazonas have had the Grand Prix as long as the men, but no, this is only the 4th one, and we have a 4th winner. So congratulations to Reina Isis as she etches her name in the record books. This was such a good main event. Like, holy crap.
So good.
Oh my
I
goodness.
wasn't even, I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be that good. They showed out, and I was here for it.
Oh my goodness. I was so happy that the Amazonas blew it out of the water. They were amazing. Like, they did everything awesome. And I was just like, and with the Grand Prix, unfortunately, that does bring us to the end of La Mes de Amazonas. But hey, you know what? I loved every single thing that we got this for the month of October with the Amazonas, because we got this Grand Prix. We had some awesome matches between, our Amazonas and CMLL and the international girls. We had Tony Storm and La Catalina tear the roof off last week. Like, oh my goodness, this was such a good month, and I need all the other wrestling promotions to take notes. And this is how you book a women's division, and this is how you showcase your women's talent. Just let them kill each other. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Well, Papa Oso, that does unfortunately bring us to the end of this week. I know, I'm very sad.
Well, it's so funny because the thing, it was like 3 hours long, but it didn't feel that long.
No, I was like, I blinked and I was like, oh, it's over?
Yeah.
What?
I was like, what? Wait a minute. Okay. All right. It's like, well, all right, I guess. I have some missing time. Was I abducted by aliens?
I was just like, oh, okay. Sure, fine. That's
But
cool.
anyway, yeah, it was so good. It was so good.
It definitely was. So before we log off for the evening, as I always tend to do here on Los Lobos de la Lucha, I am here to preview this upcoming Friday's Viernes Espectacular episode for everyone. Again, I love that CMLL just advertises everything. It's like, here you go, this is what to expect. And I'm like, thank you.
I know. Thank you.
So we have a pretty stacked card this Friday. So, by the way, El Buntador is not here, but the next 3 days of shows are very Dia de los Huertos themed. So it has me super excited. So I cannot wait to see what kind of crazy outfits that everybody wears for over the next 3 days for Dia de los Huertos and All Souls Day and everything, leading into the spooky weekend. But this Friday, this Viernes Espectacular, we have quite a bit of a card right here. So opening up the show this week is going to be what seems to be a microstar kind of showcase. So we have the team of Ultimo Dragoncito, Shockercito, and Galaxy taking on the team of Pero Ocito, Full Metal, and Pequeño Volar. So I'm just like, all right, so we're going to get some micro action too. This is going to be great. Then, in a team up that I did not know we needed, but I am so happy we have a Relevos Australianos 2 out of 3 falls match, in which we have the team of Brillante Jr., Dulce Gardenia, and both of them are teaming up with our favorite Mexican candy wrestler, Pelon and Pachuado is coming back. And I was just like, Dulce and Pelon are like, ugh, I cannot wait. And they are taking on the team of MLW's Okamura, so, Murder Grandpa himself, Disturbio and Felino Jr. So we got the old timers taking on, our younger stars. So this makes me super excited.
Yep.
Then in an evento especial de Amazonas, we have the team of Tessa Blanchard, La Catalina, and Kira taking on the team of Zuxis, Sanelli, and our Grand Prix winner, Reina Isis. That match is going to be good. I cannot wait. Then, what's going to be interesting is this is going to be a fatal 4-way match for the Rey del Inframundo title. So this is for a championship. It's a fatal 4-way. And as of right now, we have the 2 participants, which one of them is Barbaro Cavenario, and the other one is Zalua. And the other two participants will be determined over the next couple days. The winner be representing from, the Coliseum show on Saturday in Mexico, and the winner of the Guadalajara elimination match. So we won't know until Friday who that is, but it's going to be a fatal four-way for this title. Then in our main event for Dia de los Muertos, which makes a lot of sense with who's involved, we have the team of Místico, Esfinge, and Neon taking on the team of Volador Jr., Rugido, and Mágica Blanca. Listen, you had me at Místico and Volador Jr. like, ooh, it's going to be good.
Hell yeah.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I gotta find my hat because I know for next review show, I want to dress up in the Day of the Dead for us. This is gonna be fun, or at least I will, anyways. But that is gonna be it for us here at Los Lobos de la Lucha. We will be back next week to review another exciting episode. But for myself, Papa Oso, and in spirit El Buntador II, and the rest of the BC WrestlePod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you next week, but until then, sayonara, adios, and buenas noches a todos. We will catch you later.